What is going on, Leafs Nation and Leafs Line Nation alike? I am here for a rare solo video. Mary Russo going to be teeing up Game 6, probably the most important game. I know every game in the playoffs grows in importance, but this one is where it means truly the most for both sides, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And what I'm going to be doing is outlining the storylines to follow within this big pivotal game down in Tampa Bay. We'll be covering all the bases, all the positions, and all the big juicy information you need to know to get yourself ready for a massive Game 6. Now, it's finally come to the point where Leaf fans try to forget this area of, I guess, lack of success for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Game 6 and 7. This is where the killer instinct, that whole cliche around what they need to do, what they need to get done, it's here. And Leaf fans, I don't know, are you ready for it? I am. I am confident. My bracket is still standing with this Toronto Maple Leafs team, and they have the ability for the first time this series to take down the Tampa Bay Lightning, something that many people had doubt in their mind heading into this series. Let's get into our first storyline of the day, or I guess of the evening. It is quite late hours in my room here, and let's get into it. Goaltender Andrei Vasilevskiy. Now, this guy, he hasn't looked I'm not going to say the greatest, but his usual self. We all know what Andrei Vasilevskiy brings to the table, not just in the regular season. He's got the Vezina trophies to back that up, but in the postseason, he's got a Conn Smythe to put in that trophy case as well. He is a playoff demon, and the records go show for it. 16-0 with an above 950 save percentage in games where Tampa's lost the first one, but they are not going to lose the second one. He is 16-0 in returning from a loss, if you will. I mean, a terrific goaltender, a terrific talent for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he has been. And the thing that he's done the most this series is that he's 2-0 after a loss. And Leafs took Game 5. He's going to look to rebound Game 6. But the big storyline to follow heading in is, will he be able to get it done? Will Andrei Vasilevskiy be able to perform under the pressure that is set against him? It's a big question. It's a big question mark to answer. He's done it throughout his career. He's done it in the postseason. All signs point to him. If I'm a betting man, which in many cases I am, I'm putting some money on Andrei Vasilevskiy to come through. But still, the pressure is big. The Toronto Maple Leafs have the momentum in their favor. It's up to him if he wants to solve it. And if he's in there, I think the Tampa Bay Lightning have a good chance to call this one a rout. But yeah, Andrei Vasilevskiy is a big storyline to follow, much like the guy 200 feet down from him, Jack Campbell. Now, Jack Campbell, when he's on, the Maple Leafs are on. It's a vice versa relationship, and the Maple Leafs are going to need him to step up. And the big storyline to follow here is, does Jack Campbell have enough room in the tank, enough gas in the tank to get it done and pull the Maple Leafs through? Listen, you have two opportunities, two bullets in the chamber to get a win and to advance and to break that treacherous 18 years curse, which we're going to talk about later in this episode. And Jack Campbell is going to be probably the most vital piece in doing so. You look at the games previous in this series and how they've sort of led to the result. When Jack Campbell's not there, it really goes poor, and the Maple Leafs just aren't on their game. They're deflated, and it typically lands within the first 20 to 40 minutes of the game, where it's a fumble, it's a bad goal, whatever, and it goes into the net. Jack Campbell is not saving it. If he's not in there, if his head's not in there, this Maple Leafs team is not going to be getting any sort of result that they wish to get at the end of the day. And Jack Campbell has to be solid. Is he going to be able to get another game? He's already stolen a couple games in this series. He's been a driving force for the Toronto Maple Leafs, something that they can rally around. He is going to need to be that same force. He's going to be dependent upon, relied upon, and I'm hoping he's going to be a complementing factor for this team, because he's going to have to be, and then some, if they want to have a chance to advance past the Tampa Bay Lightning in round one. A third storyline we have heading into Game 6, a pivotal sixth game of the series where the Maple Leaf fans everything could be wiped. A full clean slate, a new journey, a new start to the chapter of Toronto Maple Leafs history can be written. And it could maybe be on the backs of who is going to be the hero. This has been the question all season long. Who's going to be able to step up? We've seen a lot of players step up in this playoff series. It's always been that sort of message around. And you want to go back to the 3-1 series lead against the Montreal Canadiens last year. The offense just didn't show. The big guns did not fire. This season and this postseason, they have been on full cylinder. Matthews has been terrific. William Nylander has been on a hot streak. Is his hot streak going to continue? Is William Nylander going to be able to pot some goals? Is Austin Matthews going to mix in his physical play that he's been adapting recently in the playoffs? And is he going to mix it in with his goal scoring ability? We saw that in Game 5 in that massive and wild home ice victory. And his Spezza, listen, I was not in the room, but I wish to be a fly in that dressing room. It's been apparent and it's been heard. His players have been been taking his back, taking his side, and he has been the vocal leader that Toronto Maple Leafs have needed. Now, Jason Spezza is not unknown for this. This is not a foreign thing for Jason. If you remember, he's been leading by example over the last couple of postseasons. My very vague memory, and I reference it all the time when referring to this player, is Columbus. When they stormed back, he got into that scrap that got them up on their feet, got the momentum going, and saying, listen, if this guy's rallying when we're out and defeated, we have to do a little bit better. And they did so. They came back and won, and evidently lost in the 5th game of that series in the bubble. But how they got there is through Jason Spezza. He's been a vocal leader throughout this series, and I expect him, whether he's in the lineup and whether he's not in the lineup, to be in the exact same situation. You got a guy vocally in that dressing room calling the shots. You got guys on the offensive and defensive side pulling their weight. Who is going to be the hero? If you are, and it's landed upon you, number one, Leaf fans are going to love you. There's going to be statues thrown up everywhere, but there's going to have to be someone. There's going to have to be a guy who steps up and gets the job done. That's been the problem all season long, all postseason long, all postseason history long for this Maple Leafs team. There's never been that one hero. Who is it going to be? Who is going to answer the bell? That's the big question heading into this series. That's been the big question heading into Game 6, and the anticipation looms even greater as the series reaches its expiration point. Another storyline that I like to follow up on are the matchups. Now listen, John Cooper, Sheldon Keefe, they've been going back and forth all series long, juggling their lines, matching them up, and that home ice has played a crucial role. You get the last change for those who do not know, and that allows that home team to go match up their players against the others. The visitors have to show their cards first, and then you can make a move. That's why home ice has been so pivotal in this series. Now listen, I'm never going to throw shade on Austin Matthews. He's been terrific. He's going to win. He has won the Rocket Richard trophy. He's likely going to win the MVP trophy. He's got all the personal accolades, but in this playoff series and in his career postseason, his postseason career, he has been a matchup merchant, to say the least. Now I'm looking at the stats here, and at home, through 19 games, he has 3 goals and 22 points. He loves to play at Scotiabank Arena, but on the road, when he's got to take the bus ride, he's got to take the plane, the charter, whatever it may be, it's just not there. 13 games played, 3 goals, and a meager 8 points. Now listen, I don't read into this too much because everything can change at a dime, but I don't know, man. The matchups, you're sending your shutdown pairing, and it's been like this through the past 2 years, I'd say. If you want to put a microscope on that, you got Philip Deneau. When they went to Montreal, they shut him down very clear cut. Now you got a guy like Anthony Cirelli. He's doing the exact same role, and at home, he's been able to get it done very extensively and very thoroughly. I expect Austin Matthews to break out here, and it's going to be the only reason how this Maple Leafs team pushes through. If they're big stars like Austin Matthews, this matchup merchant, if you will, he's going to have to shine. Sheldon Keefe's going to have to play his cards right if this team has to have any success. The matchups have been crucial all series long. I don't think I've been in a postseason with this Toronto Maple Leafs team and this group where matchups have played such a vital role in determining the result of the match. And I think it's going to keep beating on to Game 6, and if it is a potential Game 7, it's going to make its way in there as well. But the matchups is something that should not be ignored. I know both coaches are thinking about it, both teams are preparing for it. It's going to be interesting how it plays out. What are the lines going to be like going in? Is Jason Spezza going to be in? Are you going to go in with a Wayne Simmons and Kyle Clifford? Personally, for me, I don't change anything. I like what I saw. I saw the fight, and that was the big thing that I pulled. There was a big fight with the Maple Leafs team, and this brings me to my final point. We talked about the matchups. We talked about the goaltending, the offense, a little bit of the defense. Now we got to tie it all together. And this is something that the Maple Leafs have failed to do, is tie that knot. And the biggest thing that, not just me on the show, I know Adamo from the Leafs line has made his voice clear about this killer instinct. It's been a topic we've discussed mid-season, end of season, throughout the season. It's something that Sheldon Keefe has reiterated with his team. You want to talk about documentaries that have coming up. The Leafs Blueprint, if you want to go check that out, it's on YouTube, a terrific series of events that follows the Maple Leafs in depth in the locker room. It's all about this. One game, you have one shot. The Maple Leafs are thankful that they won Game 5. They have 2 bullets in the chamber, like I mentioned previously, to get this done. You have to step on the throat, and you have to get it through. Go for the jugular. Get it done. And how do you do that? Well, it's through everybody pulling their weight. And the biggest question mark, the biggest one heading into the series, heading into these pivotal games, these last 2 where you need to get the win, to break the curse and get this city on its feet, because then you can do whatever you want if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. Anything is at your disposal. You have to answer this question. Have they learned anything? Have you, Maple Leafs the Maple Leaf fans, have you learned anything? Have you learned to adapt? Has Game 7's in Boston, Game 6 is in Washington, Game 5's in Columbus, which everyone sweeps under the rug, but should very never be swept that far deep. And the worst one of all, which many Leaf fans are arguing cannot get worse. We've been through the struggles already. 3-1 up. You had 3 bullets in the chamber and could not get it done. Or has this team learned? Has this team adapted? Is this truly, like Kyle Dubas said in the offseason, and the coaches have said all season long, backing up their players through the postseason and through the regular season? Have the players, they've laid it all on the line. They've put up an offensive performance for the ages, the best in franchise history, the most points. It's been a terrific season for the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2021, 2022. But have they truly learned a thing? This is where we find out. Are they going to push? Are they going to show up? Which Leafs team is going to show up? I'm hoping it's going to be the one that we've seen where they're blowing the handles off the Tampa Bay Lightning, or the one we saw in the second half of Game 5, the one where got the Maple Leaf fans on their feet. I was in the Leaf Square. I was in attendance, and boy, you cannot replicate. You cannot change that energy. It has to be there in the building, and I know it's not going to be as hostile as it is at Scotiabank Arena, but you got to rally your own guys. You got to rally around something, stick to it, and get it going. Listen, how bad do you want to win, Leaf fans? How bad do you want to win, Toronto Maple Leaf players? I said something before we headed into the series. I wanted to see the Maple Leafs play to win, not play to not lose. And I think they've done a great job of that. They've taken it to the Tampa Bay Lightning time and time again. They've proven a lot of the doubters wrong. Listen, you go up against the 2-time back-to-back Stanley Cup champs, you're going to have a lot of shade thrown your way. Are you going to be able to keep up? Are you going to be able to capable and hang around with the Tampa Bay Lightning? They've proven that they have. The Maple Leafs have done everything they can. This is the last domino that has to fall. Once this does, everything, I think, in my mind, will fall into place. This team is going to be past the mental hurdle. You're going to have an identity, something that you've been trying to form for the last 3 to 4 years. Your identity has been choking, unable to get it done, no killer instinct. And evidently, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, and when the dust settles, you're golfing, and the other team is going on laughing at how they accomplished this. Maple Leafs, you have 2 shots. Get it done as soon as you can, because you don't want to hang around, and you want to let a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning hang around. They're a pressure cooker situation team where they can turn it on a dime when the going gets tough. John Cooper is a terrific coach. As much as he's been getting a lot of backlash from Leafs Nation for his comments, you have to respect him, and I believe that's out of jealousy itself. So Toronto Maple Leafs, what is it going to be? What game are we going to see? And what have you learned? I think we got to end it there. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, Leafs Line. This is not a special episode. It's not an episode title. It's no certain number. It's teeing up a pivotal 6th game. Now, listen, if you believe in this kind of stuff, I know I am. I'm a superstitious man. 2-0 at the Maple Leaf Square. I'm going tomorrow night. We're getting the boys, assembling the troops. DF Sen is going to be in the house. And we're going to have it all on display. We're going to let our voices be heard. We're going to get everything we can behind this team, whatever we can do to boost their chances. But the question at the end of the day remains, we're ready. Maple Leafs, are you? Thank you guys for tuning into this quick debrief and catching up. I know we haven't been too active on the show yet, but we're going to be previewing. There's going to be a lot of playoff content coming your way as the series dwindled down and we approach the second round. Hopefully it's the Toronto Maple Leafs coming out, and we're going to be previewing them a little bit more down the stretch. But again, Mayor Russo here, giving you a Game 6 preview. I'm going to save the ages. I'll pump my tires a little bit, but thank you guys for all tuning in. It's been a terrific night. It is boiling in my room. The long sleeve was not the motive, but listen, let's see how hot it is down in Tampa and if this team gets any hotter. That's it for me, guys. Take care and go Leafs go. I don't say this very often, but I am really behind this team. They need to get it done. There's only one question left to be answered. Let's see it get answered. Take care, guys.